Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I wanted to talk about my April TBR. So this TBR is a little smaller and a little more loosey-goosey than previous months' TBRs have been. The reason for that is because I'm already starting to burn myself out, which I said I wasn't gonna do in my 2022 reading goals. But here we are. There's always so many reading challenges going on that are so fun, and so many buddy reads or read-alongs that I just want to jump into, and that has caused me to greatly overschedule myself. So I'm kind of taking a step back for April. I'm not going to be participating in any readathons at all, and I only have 2 buddy reads, and yeah, everything else is just kind of like I'll read it if I get to it kind of a thing. So let's start out with the buddy reads that I have going on in April. So the first one I'm actually buddy reading with Rainy from Rainy Day Reads, and also Melissa from Libraries and Labradors, and Amanda, who I think has a YouTube channel. I know she has a Bookstagram account, so I'll link that down below. And we are reading Charles Dickens' Our Mutual Friend. And I'm really excited to read this one because this is actually one of my favorite Dickens, but it's been a while since I've read it. This will be my 3rd read through of it. I read it once when I was in high school, once in my 20s, so apparently I need to reread it in my 30s as well. This is just one of those books that I want to revisit every decade, I guess. This book is kind of a chunker. I think it's about 800 pages long, so my goal is to read about 200 pages a week, and hopefully that will work out. I think that it will, but I do have some other books that I'm reading as well, so that makes it sometimes a little bit harder to get to everything. So if this one carries into May, I'm not going to be mad at myself over it, but I am hoping to read the entirety of it in April. My only other buddy read that I have going on this month is The Sinner and the Saint by Kevin Birmingham. I wasn't sure who the author of this was. Anyway, so this is a story about Dostoevsky and the murder that inspired his writing of Crime and Punishment. And if you've been here for very long, you know that Crime and Punishment is one of my favorite books of all time, and that Dostoevsky is one of my favorite authors of all time. So I am very, very excited to read this one. I'm buddy reading it with Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. This book we will probably not start until halfway through the month or so. So I'm almost certain that it's going to carry into May because it's longish, and I always read nonfiction quite a bit slower than fiction because I'm trying to absorb more of it. Editing Tiffany here. I realized that I totally forgot a book, and that's because it's not here yet. I'm waiting for it to get here. That book is A Girl of the Limberlost by Jean Stratton Porter. I am reading this for Kate Howe's Kindred Spirits book club in April. That's their book choice that they're doing. I have read this book before, and it's wonderful. It is actually in my springtime recommendation video that I made last year. The nature descriptions in it are just so stunning and beautiful, and it's such a lovely story about a girl who is kind of growing up almost in these backwoods swamp area in Indiana, and there's some family tension there, and she's I think she's catches butterflies to sell to someone so she can put herself through school. It's been a couple years since I read it, so I feel like I'm about due for a reread, and I feel like it's going to be a lovely and very relaxing springtime read, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss the read-along for that. Back to the regular video. The other book that I really want to read this month is Watchman Nee's Sit, Walk, Stand. This is so tiny. It's his reflections on Ephesians, and I think it's 60 pages, so that feels very doable, but I haven't been reading very much spiritual nonfiction lately, and I really want to get back into reading more of that, and this just seemed like a good choice. And I've heard Krista from Books and Jams talk about how much she loves this book so much, and its brevity definitely made it feel more achievable and less stressful. I also really want to finish The Mysteries of Udolpho this month. I started this in February for Februagency, got about 200 pages in, and then just stopped reading it because in March I had so many things that I was reading. Not only was I trying to finish War and Peace, but I was also doing Readathon and Middle Grade March, and that was just a lot. So I was really enjoying this book though, and I hated to put it down, but I just kind of like ran out of time, and this is a big one, but I really do want to finish it because I was enjoying it a lot. And I hadn't even really gotten to the mystery part, and I was still enjoying like the very slow beginning, because this book is very slow in the beginning, and it has lots of beautiful depictions of traveling, particularly in Italy, and it's just gorgeously written. But I've heard that once you get to kind of like the mystery portion of it, it really picks up speed and is a much faster read. So I definitely want to finish this one, and it's also on my classics TBR for 2022. And so far I've only finished one book off of that. It's 12 books on it, and the only one I've finished is War and Peace. Although War and Peace, to be fair, is like reading 4 books, but still. So this one is a priority for this month. And then I have a couple other books that I hope to get to, but if I don't, that's okay. So last month for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge and the Buzzwordathon, I didn't read either of my books for that. I just didn't get to it. And I hope to catch up on both of those. One was Moon Over Manifest, but like that's okay if I don't get to that one. But the one I really do want to get to is News of the World by Paulette Giles. This book just sounds really wonderful, and I've heard lots of good things about it, so I really want to get to this one this month. But again, this is more of like a possibility thing than like a hard set TBR, but it's also short, so I have dreams and aspirations. So for this month, for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, the prompt is a book with your initials in your name. So my initials are TED. So for that, I chose Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This is on my classics TBR for 2022, and it is a shorter one on there. And we've got T, E, and D. So it does have all my initials in it. So this is the prompt, or the book that I chose for that prompt. And then I didn't really have a great book to fit the Buzzwordathon prompt, which is big or little, like one of those words in the title. So we're taking this prompt very loosely, but that's fine because that's kind of how I'm just doing things with the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge and the Buzzwordathon this year. I'm just kind of taking little bits and pieces where I can. Like, I think the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge in February was a book that had the word love in the title, and instead I just chose a romance book because I'm trying to choose books for the most part off my read or rid list, which has like 24 books on it that I have to read or get rid of by the end of the year. So Lord of the Flies is not one of those. That's on a different TBR. But this one is on my read or rid challenge list. And that book is The Great Gilly Hopkins by Katherine Patterson. This is a book of a girl in foster care. I've heard really good things about it, but to be honest, I didn't really like Bridge to Terabithia all that much. Like, I can appreciate what it was trying to do, but I really didn't like it. So I don't really have high hopes for this book, but I also picked it up at a little free library. So it's okay. So that's why it's on my read or read list. I've had it on my shelf for quite a while. So I'm going to try to read this one. Again, it's another short one. So I'm trying to set myself up for success this month. But I figured great made me think of like all creatures great and small. I'm like, great could mean big. It's not what it means in this title, but we're gonna pretend. This was like the closest thing that I had. So that's what I chose for that prompt. So this is a relatively short TBR video because that's all I have. I'm just trying to kind of like take it easy and give myself opportunities to mood read. So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to make these unachievable goals for myself to where I just get frustrated or stressed out by reading, because reading is a hobby and I want to enjoy it and not feel stressed out by it. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. What are you planning on reading in April? Are you participating in any fun readathons or anything like that? Don't worry, you can tell me and I won't be tempted to jump in. I'm taking April off. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me. And I will see you again next time.